Hello, Juju here, and welcome back for another Java tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to use a method. So, what we're going to do is we're going to allow the actually, we probably don't need this import now that I think about it. So go ahead and remove that if you have that there. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and call a method that will that will do something outside of our current method. Now, for those who may not be aware, is that this right here from where it says public static void main, this here is in fact a method. So because it's called main though, anything between these brackets will run. So if we were to go ahead and say, I'm going to create a method called say hello, and what's it's going to do, help if I could speak, is we're going to actually just copy this here and copy that so it looks exactly like that, and voila. And what this is going to do is it's just going to be as simple as system.out.println it'd really help if I could spell. Okay, there we go. So if we were to run this right now, it goes, hello everybody. Not too bad. If your computer can talk to you, you'll never be lonely, right? Right? No? Okay. So, I changed my mind. I think we are going to import that util.scanner. It's just more interesting when you use a scanner. Alright, and now that we have our scanner, remember to close it. And so we have say hello, but we don't really have anything that we don't really have it to say anything much. So if we were to say, switch this to say, and so let's create a string called input, and let's set it to x dot next line. So just grab a line from the user, and we should probably tell them, say like, enter your name. And now they'll enter their name, but how do we get this variable to here? We can't, because it's within these data brackets. There's something called a scope, and so we can have a variable out here, and every data bracket from this point will know of this variable. But if you create a variable within this data bracket, it won't know it from the previous. So to go from this data bracket back and then to this data bracket, this variable is unknown, x and input. So if we had an if statement, and I'm not going to give it a condition because this is only an example, you would be able to test using input because input is one level outside of the data bracket. However, if we had a new string called name and we were to say name out here equals meow, it's going to give us an error because name is actually within these data brackets and can't be accessed from a layer outside of them, or even within the same level but in a different set, if that makes much sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm hoping that you guys will figure it out. So what else can we do with these methods? Another thing is that we can give it parameters and arguments. So what a parameter is creating this variable, so string name, within these brackets. Now this is going to error for a second, but if I were to say hello and then say name and pass in the input that they gave us, so this would be the parameter and this would be the argument. And how do you tell the difference? Is because this has a value and this one does not. This one doesn't really have a value. We're just saying whatever they tell us their name is. So with that said, go ahead and run this and enter your name. My name is Juju. Hello, Juju. Well, hello to you too, console. And the only other thing is return types. Now, as you may have noticed, the other thing about return types is that this says void right here, and so does this. So what void means is that it's not going to give anything back when it's called. When we call this method up here, it gives back whatever the user input. So what we could do when we say, we could return something like return how are you? Okay, but now it's going to error because I haven't actually given this a type. So I'm going to switch the type to string because that's what we're returning, is a string. And now if I were to type this out in a system.out, and okay, let's run this and enter your name, Juju. Hello, Juju. How are you? And so, just to go over quickly, we created a scanner. We went ahead and asked them their name. We went ahead and stored whatever they entered into a variable, and we created this marvelous, fantastic function that will make you millions of dollars, because this is a fantastic program. And it goes ahead and calls this function and passes input as in for name. So whatever they entered will be thrown here and it will say hello to them. But it will also return how are you? And we are also going to print that out to the screen and then close everything up. So that's it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're having problems, make sure to ask me about them and give me a heads up down in the comment section below. Other than that, thank you for watching and have yourself a fantastic day.